Hello basketball coaches and basketball players, my name is Alan from Al's Basketball Training, and today I'm going to show you some fantastic backdoor cut basketball plays that you can run with your basketball team. Now, some of these plays will be only good against man-to-man defenses, while others are going to be great for zone defenses. So let's get down to the clipboard and let's check out these basketball plays. Okay, so in this first play, it's a nice, quick, simple, easy basketball play. And what we're going to be doing is having player 5 set a back screen for player 3, and player 4 is going to be doing the exact same thing except for player 4, or for player 2, I mean. So we're going to have player 3 cutting towards the rim as well as player 2. Player 1, he is going to have the decision to pass or alley-oop the basketball to one of those two players. Now, if one of those two players or both of those players are not open, what we want to see is once they've cut, let's say their players have followed both of them, we're going to have both players who were setting the back screens going up to set a screen for player 1. Now at this time, these two players are going to make the decision on who's screening for who. And now let's say player 3 is getting screened. He's going to pop out towards this wing. Player 1 is going to be going out towards that side as well. And this is going to be a first option that we would like to have. But if his man comes out and defends him and player 1 is also not open to take that shot, what I want to see happen is player 4 pop up and player 2 set a back screen again for player 5, who is going to be then cutting towards the rim, and this should be an open basket as well. So there's quite a few different options in this play that we can hit up for baskets and lots of points. Okay, so in this next play, again, we're going to go up against a man-to-man defense. So we're going to be having player 4 set a screen for player 1 on this play, and player 3 is going to be setting a back screen on player 2. Now, once that happens, we're going to be having player 5 pop out towards the three-point line, and player 2 is going to be cutting baseline. Now, if he's open, definitely hit him up for that shot. If neither of these players are open, however, what I want to see happen is player 2 to clear out towards this side, and now player 3, he is going to go and set a back screen on player 5, and player 5 is going to be cutting towards the rim, and he is going to be the next option for a layup. Okay, so both of these options are really great and do help teams score a lot of points. And these are also plays that are simple enough that you can run with younger basketball teams. Now, these next couple of plays, we're going to go progressively more and more advanced, and they're going to be up against zone defenses because more and more teams are running the zone defense, especially at the younger age groups. Okay, so in this first zone offense play, what I want to see is player 5 and 4 both running up towards the high post. And that's where I want to see one of those players get the ball. So if player 5 gets the ball, for example, we're going to run the play on the right side. However, if we were to get it to player 4, we would run the exact same play, just on the left side. So once that happens, we're going to be having player 5 pop up, player 4 move in, and player 2 move down. And this is a deadly spot on a zone defense. The high post is the absolute worst place for the opposing team, the defensive team, to allow the offensive team to get the ball. High to low passes are very deadly because it brings player 5 out. Now, that's exactly what we're going to be doing. We're going to be having player 4 cut across the key and set a back screen on player 3. Player 3 blue is going to use that screen, and player 5 is going to look to pass the ball down to player 3. Of course, this could collapse both of these players, especially player 4. That is a very high probability of him getting collapsed onto player 3 because the other two players are out of the play. In which case, we're going to have player 3 pass out to player 2 for a deep mid-range or three-point shot. So one more time against a 2-3 zone, this is another play that you could run. So what we're going to be having here is player 5 setting a back screen on player 3, and player 4 is going to be showing towards the high post, preferably at the free throw line, right? Not at the elbows. We want player 4 to get that ball. and we want player 3 to cut towards the rim. The reason why we want this to happen is because now it puts player 5 in a position to defend 2 players. Player 3 is going to be cutting. Now player 4 could take that shot if player 5 sagged off, or he may be able to take a dribble in and take a nice floater. Or if player 5 didn't notice what was happening over here, this could be a high to low pass for player 3 to get a nice easy basket. And by running a 1-3-1 offense like I was here, this is going to be lifting up the defensive 3 players along the baseline, so that now we do have the option to do high to low passes with a high probability of scoring. So now this next play is against a 3-2 zone defense. And what we're going to be doing here again is the 1-3-1. I really like the 1-3-1 offense against a zone. I also really like a 5-out offense against a zone as well because it stretches out the defense. So we're going to be having player 2 set a screen here on player 1. Player 4 is going to be setting a screen on player 5 once player 1 starts dribbling out towards this side. What I want to see happen is player 1 to be quicker than player 3 to basically dribble the ball down towards the baseline, as this will now bring player 4 out to defend player 1. Now with this screen, this is why this has to be a delayed screen. I'm going to have player 5 cutting down the middle of the key, and if we can get a quick floater or a layup, that's going to be really beneficial to us scoring. Now if player 5 is not open, let's say player 4 is sagged off or whatever it may be, I want him to continue out towards that corner, especially if he's able to shoot. We can now just hand off the ball to player 5. We're going to have 2 players who are going to be closing out on player 5, and we can have player 2 now showing or setting a screen for player 3 to come around towards this free throw line extended so that we can have the extra pass for the 3-point shot. Now this last and final play is going to be absolutely fantastic. This is going to be a super advanced play that if your team is really court smart, they could run at a younger level, but generally speaking, this is a high school level or higher basketball play. So I'm going to be running a 1-2-1 zone defense to show you this play because it does work against both a 2-3 and 3-2 zone defense. And generally speaking, a 2-1-2 can be both of those at the same time. So that's what we're going to be running here. And what we're going to be having is player 3, he's going to be cutting across and setting a screen for player 5, or on player 5 for player 4. I now want to see player 4 cutting across the key. And now one of 2 things is going to happen. If player 2 sags down, then we have player 2 open for a shot. If player 2 does not sag down, then we have player 4 open for a layup. Of course, this could be a kick out to player 5 as well, depending on what player 4 red does. But let's say neither of these options are open. Player 2 is pretty solid defender. He's guarding both of these players an even distance away. Now what we're going to be having is player 3 pop out, and we're going to have player 1 dribble out towards this side. Now, what's going to be happening is that's going to be bringing player 4 out, while we have player 4 blue going to set a back screen on player 5. Now, what I want to see happen is player 2 to cut up top, and now that's going to be pulling player 1 up. If this is a 2-3 zone, this is going to be really heavily defended on that side just like this, in which case we have options. So we're going to have player 5 come off of that screen, and he's going to be popping up back in to this 5-out offense. So of course we had that initial option over here. We haven't done that. We haven't done a back screen just yet. We just did here, but that's just going to be having player 4 pop out over here. What I want to see happen now is player 5 is going to be setting a weak side screen on player 2. Player 2 is going to use that. This is going to be a quick skip pass, of course 1 to 2 dribbles over towards the right side. This is now doing a skip pass and a back screen or a weak side screen on player 2. This is now allowing us to shift the defense, and they're going to be scattering to try and cover these two players. So player 5 is going to be stuck defending player 2, in which case now we have player 2 passing over to player 3 for a possible 3-point shot. So both of these players could have been getting a 3-point shot. Or off of that screen, we can have player 5 cutting towards the rim, and this could be another pass into player 5 for a layup. There's a couple of different options here. I hope that these basketball plays help your team win more games. If they do, let us know in the comment section below. I would love to hear from you, and I will see you guys again later on today for the second video of the day.